right, so I'm here to break down Mike Young's fight. Mike Young's got a really dynamic style where he's kind of moving from both southpaw to ortho, and he touches and pulls really well. His head movement for a kickboxer and a Muay Thai fighter is really well developed. So we're just going to break down some of the sequences from his last fight where he won this title for the 155-pound kickboxing division for Combat Night. It was a really fun fight. He was fighting an undefeated fighter who was 8-0, tough, really technical opponent. So we knew going into this fight that we wanted to use that lateral movement and his dynamic striking and his in and out ability and his ability to utilize head movement as a way to kind of pull in and out and play a different game and get out of some of those very traditional Muay Thai sequences. So let's kick things off here. I pulled some sequences together of the fight that all kind of encompass what I'm talking about. All right, so here we gotta get off into some exchanges where he's pulling out of range. So you see that he does a good job feinting right here. A nice little level change hard feint that draws out the reaction of a jab. He pulls off the jab, and now he's able to reset again. As he resets, actually resets into orthodox. So already like just high level stuff. And that, leaves him off center with his head, landing a nice lead hook right here as he pulls away from that hook. So it kind of level changes the hook, gets outside of the cross. All right, so now we're initiating again from southpaw. Little head motion already, kind of giving some different looks. And as soon as that kick comes in, we're able to get over the top. Mike does a really good job doing this where he's kind of playing his head offset. And a lot of times he'll land this in sparring as this lead left hand over the top right there. All right, so in this sequence, they start off in open stance. His opponent is southpaw, he's ortho. He pulls just outside of his opponent's cross, setting up his own cross where his opponent's a bit vulnerable there. Lands an inside low kick, and Mike does a really good job oftentimes of just kind of threading in these low kicks at kind of awkward times for somebody to deal with. Not necessarily the most damaging shots, but it's a scoring shot and it gets your opponent kind of thinking and being off balance. Here he steps forward, maintains ortho this whole time. A little backhand to the left hand, and right here, nice little level change, getting outside of that hand again, and he resets into southpaw. So just a lot of elements here, right? Starting ortho, they're in open stance. Sometimes he'll start the exchange in southpaw. Sometimes he's gonna start this exchange in open stance as ortho. Again, pulls outside of that cross, hits his own cross into the inside low kick, and then some more touches, fading away, level changing off that cross as he kind of resets into southpaw. And that's what you want to do. You want to get in, you want to get out, untouched and touching your partner up. So another exchange, this time they're in closed stance, southpaw, southpaw. Mike's kind of been walking him down the whole fight. Lands a nice teep there into a right hand. Again, Mike just has a good job of like going offbeat rhythms with those things. And here he steps forward, right? So oftentimes you're going to throw this teep. And notice here how Mike's walking forward. So now he's also giving him some different looks, right? He's southpaw, but is he really southpaw? Because here's ortho. That's going to give him a little more power in this teep and thread forward into that right hand where his shoulder comes back. So now that right hand is almost like a cross hook, steps forward with the left hand, and then again, exits out on a nice angle, resets again. Here he's going to get into another pull sequence. Good level change right there, getting just outside the shoulder. And Mike will often do a good job of just level changing, moving his head right there. Lands a big knee right there. Anytime you can land one of those knees out in open space, that one gets right to the liver. So again, stepping forward, good level change there, getting outside the punch. He's been exchanging a lot with some boxing, and right there he gets to a good knee. He's been staying on that level change a lot throughout this fight, and he does this pretty often. Here he does a good job level changing into a body shot, bringing that hook up over the top, and just staying touching. Nice little low kick chop right there. He does a pretty good job of defending those body shots, even though they land kind of grazingly. Again, southpaw, southpaw, pulls the hook. So this ability to just step into range and then step back out of range. Mike is really great at this. Here he steps forward after that hook. Nice little body shot there. Does a great job digging the body over the top. Leopold does a good job of kind of taking an angle there, even though he's getting overwhelmed and swarmed. Another big slip, right? So like Leopold creates a good angle right here, where on a lot of other fighters, he's probably gonna be successful. But Mike just does such a good job here of readjusting on the angle. Like this left hand probably lands against, a a bunch of other fighters. But here Mike just kind of fucking matrixes it, gets outside, gets the shoulder, gets to the hips. Great job. And you know, this constant ability that Mike just is walking him down this whole time, you know. And this is really the story of the fight, was him just being slightly ahead on a lot of these exchanges. I think we're gonna get to another one right here. Boom. That same level change, now to the opposite side. So a lot of times he's dipping towards that rear shoulder. This time he's going lead shoulder. And that's exhausting. For somebody to just think they have you dead to rights and swing and hit absolutely nothing. I might kind of playing it up right there. A little showmanship, a little head shake after that misses. Did we get into another exchange there? Yeah. So I'll actually use this to get into another little low kick there at the end. Boom. You know, these same time counters Mike is so good at. You know, so instead of pulling and then re-entering, as soon as he pulls, throws that right hand, boom, right over the top. Those are the counters that really can hurt somebody. Boom, it's that pull right over the top. Tries to hit the body. Leopold does a good job of defending. And then again, tries to get to the low kick, but Leopold does a good job of kind of shoving away. But the same time counter right here is really beautiful. Again, we're going lead shoulder, lead hip dip, getting outside, and the amount of power that you're just able to generate off that rear shoulders is pretty nice there. All right. This is like where he's really just like flow state, hitting the matrix here. Boom. Does a great job of just getting outside that rear shoulder and then readjusting with a level change. And then here pulls, okay? So, you know, look at this. Look at the difference in just spacing and distance right here, where, you know, he's pulling way out of balance, right? That's not a great, you know, like his positioning compared to his opponent's positioning. He's just, you know, this left hand should land and do some pretty good damage. But Mike just does such a good job of just changing levels, changing distances, mixing things up, right? Completely shuts that whole disadvantage down. Pulls that hook, boom, big left hand right there. And then another pull, right? So just this in and out, right? Where he's pulling, back into range, pulling again, landing big shots. At this point, his opponent's face is pretty weathered here. Land some big shots here. Nice little ability to get to the knee. All right, so again, hope you enjoyed that breakdown of Mike Young's recent title defense, or title fight where he got the title, not a defense. But you can see that, you know, someone who's just is understanding the dynamics, understanding the fundamentals, and then can kind of start to shift those dynamics, shift those fundamentals, start playing on some different planes, some different timing, some different rhythms, some different angles, can really give someone who's very technical, very strict, a really hard time. So I always say that you want to learn the basics. You need to build the foundation of your house, have it be stable, have it be nice and safe. You have to learn all these things, but then once you learn them, now you're starting to like decorate that house. How do you want to decorate it? What are you putting in that house? What works really well for you, your style, your body type? You know, Mike's not a giant 155er. He probably could make 145 fairly easily. You know, he's just got a lot going on. You know, here's a guy who's, you know, and then just credit to him, right? Let's give a shout out to Mike Young for a second. 2 brand new baby girls, right? Works a full-time job, you know, and has the ability to just kind of get into a flow state and create. You know, it would be really amazing to see someone like that be able to really like spend some time and dedicate themselves to this thing, but he's juggling so much and it's really commendable and impressive. But, you know, again, he's doing a great job of using things that work really well for his body type and his style. Right? He's not a giant 155er. What do we need to do? We don't really want to be standing in front of people who are probably stronger than us and can generate a bit more power than us. We want to be able to move dynamically. We want to be able to move in and out. We want to go way high on the volume of striking so that they have to kind of keep up with somebody who really should be at, you know, 145 pounds. So now, you know, we're playing different energy systems, right? We're having them keep up with a little bit of a higher level pace. We're not very drained because we didn't have to cut much weight. So, you know, whether this describes you or doesn't describe you, what it does describe is a guy who's just done a great job of figuring out his own lane, his own style, a game plan that works well for him. Gotten, you know, me and him, obviously, if you have a coach who can kind of get on the same page and work some of that stuff with you, obviously that's ideal. But it's been a lot of fun training with Mike Young. Hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown.